Hey guys, welcome back to Bake the Podcast. Today we have Aqeelah with us. We're doing the Friendship Hotline and we tackle quite a tricky topic. We're talking about jealousy and competing in friendships, and we do get quite honest and introspective. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So today is a little bit of a juicy episode. We want to talk about money, success, but mostly jealousy in friendship. And I feel like everyone goes through this, and maybe we're not accountable. Maybe we don't admit when we are the jealous ones. So let's unpack. I know you have a lot to say.
I do, because I have gone through this with myself. I have unpacked.
You've been jealous of yourself.
Not jealous of myself. I noticed there was a period of my life, this was like 2016, 2017, especially like when there were a lot of newer content creators, and like I was used to it being such a small handful of ours, and I was used to there being such a small handful of us, and there were these new people, and I felt like, and it was at the same time we were all just booking jobs, or like people were starting to pay content creators. And so it felt like, okay, like
you had to gatekeep.
I felt like I had to gatekeep. I was the biggest gatekeeper, and I felt like you're going to come for my bag, And
Valid.
It went on for, I would say I had like this period, it wasn't like a whole year, but it was a few months where it was eating me, because that's what it does. And you don't realize that you're sitting with this gunk inside you, and it's governing the way you behave. It's making you make choices that aren't actually aligned with what you truly want. And it's making you miserable. Like there's
So how did you get yourself out of it?
No way that you win on any plane.
Yeah, I mean, you might know that factually, but still feel that way,
Yes.
right?
So I'm a very introspective.
To like kind of pull yourself out.
I look inward a lot, and I journal, and I'm someone who I get sick of my own bullshit. So I think that's a really good thing to do and thing to have. And I got to this point where I just felt like I am tired. Like this is exhausting. It really just felt exhausting. And I did a little experiment where I told myself, I'm going to do the complete opposite of what I did before, which was, I'm going to give all my secrets away. So when the newbie creators come to me and they're also looking for a friend, I'm not going to see them as a threat. I'm going to see them as a friend. And I'm going to say, oh, here, you can contact this person. Oh, you're looking for this contact?
share
you can
resources.
do this. You want to collaborate with me? Cool, let's do that.
So it's like exposure therapy. You're like, let me be the
that's what I did.
anti-gatekeeper.
Yes. And when I felt that like jealousy or competition sort of like arise, I took a pause, I took a beat, and I gave myself a pep talk. And it's quite funny. My niece is now 10, and I remember more or less at the same time she would have been about 3. She had a moment of jealousy, and my sister-in-law very calmly just said to her, I can't even remember what she was jealous of, but she said, it's her turn now, and one day it's going to be your turn. And I don't know why that landed at me, like it just landed for me. And I was like, wow, how nice would the world be if every single adult just, when they had a moment of jealousy, just said to themselves, it's that person's time now, and one day it will be my time.
Yeah.
And look at it as turns. And I just give myself like little pep talks. I don't think I really get jealous of things anymore. I'm at a point now where I am so laser focused on knowing what I want to give my time to, what matters to me, where I want to be in my life, that even when other people have those things that I maybe want, I don't feel envy, because I've kind of accepted the steps that I need to take to get there.
In order to get there.
I can't explain it. So it's really just such a powerful anchor to me when I know my why, where I know where I'm going, and being very clear on my on that drive. It helps me a lot.
Yeah.
And then obviously if there is a bit of envy or a bit of jealousy that arises, I know how to get myself out of it. It's just a blip in the road. It's not gonna like make me start a whole new business or like make me go and cut my hair short to do something drastic. It's just, we take a beat, we deal with it, we move on.
It's just a moment. So for me, I don't think that all jealousy is bad.
Oh,
I think
that's
that like
interesting.
some envy is like a signal for you to
Oh, yes.
like, if you envious of another creator because, they're able to afford a nice car, then I think that's a good point to look at. Why are you feeling that way? Is it because you want the car, or do you want the validation of being able to afford that car? Do you even like those kind of cars? I think it brings up like, it can raise a question in your mind where you're like, do I actually want this thing, or is this like some other shit I need to deal with within myself,
Yes.
right? So then you're able to say like, actually, I actually don't like these kind of cars. I'm happy with what I'm driving. So what is it that I'm jealous of? Is it because that person has financial freedom? And then you can ask yourself like, how can I get financial freedom? And it's more like of a prompt for you to look at what you can change in your life to achieve a similar state of like financial freedom, as opposed to just being about the car. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like for me, if I feel those feelings of like envy, which I think are natural, then it's more of a time for me to look inside myself and like kind of gather, where am I at and why am I feeling this way, and what can I do to get there. And if there's something I like to do, and I learned this a very long time ago, that if I believe that like there's like a darkness that makes us feel like jealous, right? So whether you're religious, it's like the devil or whatever. And what I learned a long time ago is that a great way to kind of put that fire out is just like complimenting the person that you feel.
Yes.
Like if you notice something and it makes you feel envious, and I feel like with social media, like if you go in any of the comment sections, it's mostly rooted in like unhealed traumas, and like people are so envious of the next person, like this person's too rich, or this person's too pretty, or this person has like the best job, or whatever it may be. And instead of people like rooting for that person and cheering for them, they bring them down. So like that's maybe your instinct in that moment of feeling envious. But then I always say like flip it on its head and compliment that person, cheer for that person, clap for them,
Yeah.
repost their, graduation announcement, because you can live in that space and feel ashamed of yourself of being jealous, or you can work through it because it is like a natural emotion. And then look at yourself and where it's coming from, and then on the other end also like promote that person and encourage them to do more of what you're so jealous of. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
It's kind of like
It's
weird.
like choosing to overcome it.
Yeah, choose to overcome
Like
that
challenging
feeling.
yourself to do better. No, I
And I
think
wish
it's really
people
important.
would do that to me, because like I've had instances where like relationships have been ruined because of envy, but I can see that they like, I can't revive the relationship. Like that person's always going to feel that way about me no matter what I do. It's like my life's better than theirs, and like they can't seem to see the hard times or whatever. And I wish that like those people would just like kind of take that rose-colored glasses off their eyes and see that my life's not
Yes.
perfect, and then instead like challenge themselves into rooting for me. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get you. And it's a tricky thing because it does require a hard conversation with yourself. So to anyone listening, I would honestly challenge every single person to look inward for that. And if it's something that you are really struggling with, be it with a friend, be it with coworkers, try what I did. That was, I think, 2017, where you choose to face it head on and you do the exact opposite and just see where it leads you. Because I can tell you where that led me. If I look back on the last few years, I mean, 2017 was 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
I still look back on that year with so much fondness because I still look at it as one of the best years of my life. Because I did all of that. It actually brought so much abundance into my life.
Yeah.
I told myself that there's enough for everyone, and I still tell myself this always.
I know you always say that. You
So
have
I
like an
don't-
abundance mindset.
No, I choose. It's not easy. It's really not easy. And especially like when you're self-employed and sometimes you just see your bank balance go like this, you
Yeah.
know. Not every single day is the same, but I always tell myself to have an abundance mindset. And I'm a firm believer. There is enough for every single soul on this planet to have abundance. It's unevenly distributed, and you've got to do what you got to do to get your share. But I believe in that. So you getting your share, that's cool. It came early for you. I'm going to go and do what I need to do to get my share. And I'm going to be happy for you.
Yeah.
You know? And I call myself out, you know, and I'll say, no.
Yeah.
We're not doing
It's
that
like
today.
quite self-awareness.
You know?
Like being more self-aware,
Yes.
knowing where those feelings come from instead of reacting and being like bitchy to somebody. When
No,
you can
definitely.
like no one knows you have those feelings.
I can honestly tell you, I've
you're
conquered
sitting alone.
jealousy.
Yeah.
Like I've conquered it. Like
I really think
owned
you
it.
have. That's
So nothing phases me. Because I've also like seen on the other side of things that like life can be so short. Like I've had hectic health issues in the past where you also realize that none of this other superficial shit matters.
Yeah.
So it's all so fleeting. It's no point in hating over that because it cannot be here tomorrow, you know?
Exactly.
And when I did that experiment that year, another thing that I experimented with was inviting new friends into my life. So I was very
this is such a hard topic for
I
me.
know. It's like it was
I feel
it was
like
hard.
I've like messed up with the new friendship thing because like I'll
How
let
so?
new people into my life and then they like become envy because my life does look very shiny. Like I don't let everyone all the way in, although I do tend to overshare. But it looks shiny, and there are hardships that I don't share with everyone. Even like I won't share them with new friends, and you know what those hardships are. And people will look and they'll like start getting like weirdly competitive, and it like pisses me off so hard that I'm like shy to make new friends because I like don't want to deal with competing with people like at my big age. Like I can't, like if we're competing, can we like do that in paddle tennis, like not our lives?
Yeah.
Because I don't need to sit across from you and be like, oh, my dad's got a bigger gun than your dad. Like why are we playing this game? Or like comparing our wealth or our
Because you
cars or
never
whatever
also
it may be.
know like what people have had to do or sacrifice or what they're even going through to hold on to that. And I mean, this is a conversation that happens over and over. So we all know this, and it is just a bit harder in that moment.
Yeah.
But I think that's why, like, you know, just those regular introspective check-ins are so important. I also think that
But how do you push past that fear though? Like I'm asking you because I don't know.
It's a muscle also that you have to exercise.
Like,
it's just
I don't
something
know
you
how
have to
be
keep
vulnerable again with a
doing
new
it.
friend.
No, you have to
I
keep
swear.
Oh, but also in that year when I was saying I was making new friends, it wasn't making new best friends.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't like that. It was more like
socializing.
work friends, because like I said, I was Miss Gatekeeping. So when I was
Yeah.
going to events, I was putting myself out there to actually make friends with fellow creators.
Yeah.
And
Instead
you
of
know,
like
having
sitting
fun
in the
with
corner
them.
by yourself,
Yeah, and
thinking
being
that
on my
you're
phone
better
and
than
being like,
everyone.
I'm better than everyone.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
doing
yeah.
this for so long.
Got you.
No, I put myself out there. I made friends with everyone.
Okay, so you're putting yourself out there with boundaries. You're not like
Yes, it was with it
inviting the person for dinner. to your
No,
home.
it wasn't
Yeah,
like
got
that. It
you.
was
Okay.
more like
See, now I don't have boundaries. I like invite everyone into my house and then
You
get
do
really.
invite everyone
I do.
into your house, eh?
Even everyone on this podcast.
Can we actually talk about that? Can we talk about that?
About my lack
Because
of
I'm
boundaries.
actually someone that is very like, I don't invite everyone over to my house. I actually don't do
know.
that. I used to do it when I just got married, but like now I've become so like sacred about my space, and my husband also is as well. Like that is like our safe space.
Yeah.
And I do think that when you invite people into your home,
Invite the
you
energy.
are inviting that energy, and you are
Yeah.
opening yourself up to envy.
I feel so put on the spot.
No,
This is so
it's
true.
not a bad thing though. I don't think it's like
I think you know what it is.
everyone's
I love
different. But at the same time, I do fantasize that one day when I have a big house,
like being
inshallah, I'm going to
hostess
be
with the
in my
hostess.
hostess era.
So
Like I want to
even
be
when I
that
was
person.
in my other
So
house,
I don't
I loved
blame you.
people.
You
Remember?
had the space. Yes, you did.
But before I had the space,
Yeah.
I still loved having people at my place. I think, do you know why? When I was a kid, we didn't always have guests. Like my parents were very private about their home. And I think I was exposed to other people having like events, not events, but like having people over for dinner. And like there's one friend in particular that I met in university, and her mama like idolized her. Like she always like was the hostess with the mostest. And I was like, when I'm grown up, I'm gonna be like her, and I'm gonna invite everyone to my house, and my house is gonna be pretty, because she had the most beautiful like home interior decor, and she was always like, making mocktails in jugs. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
That is so you.
I know, it is me.
Suddenly I understand your life mood board.
Yeah, that's my life mood. So I love hosting and I love entertaining, but I don't. I also struggle with like people pleasing and like boundaries. So then I'll maybe invite someone over and then I'll feel really close to them because they've been in my personal space, which is my home. And then I'd maybe like think they're my best friend afterwards and then realize actually that person was just using me for like free social media content for their business or like they don't really like me and they're like talking about me behind my back and then I'm all sad because I'm like, oh, I thought they were my friend. So I am exercising the boundary muscle by only inviting podcast guests into the house.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you live and you learn. It's not like something
fair.
I think, you know what? I think the reason I'm like that now is because when I was growing up, it was the opposite. My house was a train station.
I loved your house.
My house was a train station, and then my brother and I became friends with each other's friends. It would just be like this mashup constantly.
Yeah, that's like
I
my
think
dream.
I'm still overstimulated. That's why I don't
dream is
have
that my
anyone
kids
in my
invite
house.
all their friends to my house and that it's like really busy.
The
and
fun house.
And I want to complain that like we can't keep meat in the freezer because there's always children in the house. Like that's my dream.
That's a beautiful dream though. That's
but
okay.
I need to like also think of my own mental health.
So maybe what you do is maybe you first vet people for a while before you allow them in your house. Like it doesn't have to be, I know you 5 minutes now, you come into my house.
I'm like, let's have a paint and sip at my house and with 5 strangers.
No, maybe we first go to Clay Cafe and we paint and sip there and then I see if you can come to my house.
Okay, I'm going to write this down. I can make notes. No, that is my issue with like new friends and boundaries. And I do get a bit like...
excited.
I get excited, but then now I've become wary of people like competing with me because I just hate that feeling. Because I don't actually compete with anyone. I'm very much stay in my own lane, whether it comes to like motherhood or anything. I've become less competitive as I've gotten older. Like when we were younger and in our 20s, we wanted to be like the best and win awards and all that stuff. And I've accomplished those goals for myself, so I don't feel the need to like compete with everyone else. So I don't want people to be my friend and then compete with me. Like I don't like that game. It just feels very childish.
No, it does. And gosh, I haven't had this in my life in a long time. So I'm like, I've got to rack my brain to
That's
like
because you have
go
boundaries.
back. No, it's not even the boundaries. It's just like if I'm also now to recognize that in people.
How do you recognize it?
Just vibes. I don't know. There's no other way to say it. It's
like
just gift of
intuition.
discernment, you know, and you can just kind of tell that like what people are in for.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm getting better at that now.
I've learned that. And then if it gets a bit weird or if I catch one snarky comment, I am out.
Okay.
Because listen,
That's
these
me too,
days
actually.
I barely have time to take care of myself some days. I am absolutely not going to spend a second in the company of someone who's going to make me feel like shit about myself. And that's even included like family. Like if I hear one weird comment, I tell my husband, I'm like,
we're out. No, I can do that. I can definitely end a relationship. I think I'm very good at that. I'll walk away, but I do get sad. And I suppose you can't stop that. You're going to feel hurt or whatever.
Also, what's tricky is, you see, jealousy, especially if you feel it in a relationship or in a friendship, I should say, it's actually something you really do have to go back to, that like self-accountability thing, because that's a very hard thing to bring up with a friend. Like I can't sit you down and be like,
are you jealous of me?
So I feel like you're jealous of me, because that's going to be so triggering. I mean, I'm sure there's a way that you could say, hey, like I just feel like things are a bit tense. I've had friends
come to me and say that like when we've ended our dynamic, maybe they've taken a pause and come and said like, they stepped away because they felt jealous of my perceived success and felt like they needed to compete. And so, like, I know it's a reality, do you know what I mean? And so now I'm wary of like, I know the signs and I'd rather than have the awkward conversation, I don't know if this is even the right thing, I'd rather walk away and just be like, okay, we are not aligned. Like we don't have the same vibes.
But you know what's another step that you can take in terms of protecting yourself? Because I've done that for myself now. I think it comes with another level of accountability or like introspection. You need to know who you are actually in terms of your value. in terms of what you have, like actually look around and be like, wow, I'm actually quite privileged, or I'm actually quite beautiful, or I actually am really smart. And that's hard for us to do, right?
Yeah.
It's hard for you to think that
Because we've been taught not to
yes, but
celebrate ourselves.
not only that, like, we already compare ourselves to other people. So maybe you have your own insecurities. Now you're like, what does she have time to be jealous of me for? Like, I'm not
Literally.
someone to be jealous about.
Yeah.
You have no idea how hard I get, how hard things are for me, like some days. And yeah, so, but you actually have to know that, so that, and it's not about a vanity thing. It's not even about going, I know I'm that girl. It's not even about that. It's just be realistic about who you are,
Yeah.
and what other people have versus what you have. Because if you invite like someone who's kind of low vibration into your space, like how is that going to look? You know what I mean?
Like, what's this going to be like for you?
How are
and-
they going to
or is
perceive it? Because
safe?
if they perceive themselves as like this, you might also perceive yourself down there, but your exterior world might reflect so much more.
Yeah.
It's going to amplify that distance, I think.
I love that thing that you just said about getting to know yourself and like building
Yeah.
like your own sort of protection system. And I think that's what I'm doing. That's like my goal now with therapy, is just like getting to know myself better. Because even with this podcast, that I had so much self-doubt, but it was because I wasn't aware of my own like abilities and strengths. I wanted like someone else to tell me, like you to tell me, like, oh, you're really good at this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I am. But now I'm starting to accept, like, okay, these are my privileges, these are my talents. And I need to be with people who are aligned with me and who like also
get
confident
that.
about themselves in whatever field they may be, so that they don't feel the need to like compare and compete.
Yes.
Because we're already faced with so much comparison in the world that we live in. Like our lives are like comparing our bodies to like what we see online or whatever, or perfect parents we see online, and we're not that perfect. So why invite that into our own daily lives? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
We can choose to log off from like social media, but you can't choose to remove yourself always from the people in your life.
And something like a very simple thing that's most obvious for you and I. For example, we have a social media platform. And sometimes it's actually easy to forget the responsibility that comes with that, or acknowledge the magnitude of what that is to have tens of thousands of people know who you are.
Yeah.
And you having that at your helm to use. So just if you tune out everything, you have a bit of difficulty with seeing that you're beautiful, or seeing that you are privileged. Just looking at that alone, like knowing you've had that experience where people try and use you for that currency that you have. It is a form of currency. And so knowing to protect yourself from that,
Yeah,
like
got you.
it's just knowing those things that need that extra bit of protection.
Yeah, so I feel like
Yeah.
at the end of this episode, I'm going to go write in my journal. I learned so much because, I feel like I learned more in this episode than anything else, because I'm really there with like dealing with boundaries and reconciling moments of jealousy and competition in my own life, and knowing how to move forward. And I think like what we've shared today has really given me that sort of the tools I need to move on. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to move on and reconcile with the past. So I feel like what you've said, I want to go and write down some stuff.
I wanted to end off on my side
Okay.
by saying this realization that I had recently, because I was really hurt by somebody else's actions and something that they had said towards me. And at first I took it personally. And then I realized that the reason they were saying something like this, the reason they were saying this thing was it's self-soothing. Like sometimes that jealousy comes across as self-soothing, and sometimes you have to be the bigger person and acknowledge what they're doing to you. It's not even coming from a place of I hate you or whatever. It's just that you doing something different to them, it brings out the insecurities and makes them feel like, you know what, her way looks really great, but it's so different to my way. So my way must be wrong.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to be mean to you to bring your way down, to like try and find a flaw in it. because I'm self-soothing about the way I'm doing things.
Yeah.
But maybe there's nothing wrong with the way you're doing things, the way I'm doing things. Many things
it's
can
all
be true
good.
at
Yeah.
once, you know. And sometimes it comes from someone that we really relate to, really admire. And that makes it really hard because it holds like, you think it's holding a mirror up to your life and it's not. We're just all different.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Kiki, thanks for coming on the pod. We'll catch you again soon. Have a lovely day.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for joining the Friendship Hotline. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was quite deep. I know Aqeelah and I have a very different way of navigating jealousy and competition. And now I want to hear from you in the comments. How do you navigate jealousy? Have you ever experienced jealousy in your friendships? And how did you deal with that? And don't forget to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And of course, you can find us on social media on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll catch you guys in the comments soon.